Promotions are slowing everywhere, and most people are reading it as a temporary freeze, a bad quarter, a cautious chief financial officer, a hiring cycle that will normalize once confidence returns. The real story is structural. Promotions are slowing because the promotion used to be how firms bought extra output. When demand increased, the organization expanded its layers. More managers, more directors, more oversight. Titles were the currency used to purchase additional coordination capacity. That currency is losing relevance. Today, firms can buy extra output without changing your title, your band, or your pay. Through automation, workflow systems, centralized platforms, and tighter process discipline, companies increase throughput while keeping headcount flat. Capacity expands, compensation does not. The incentive vector is straightforward. Executives are rewarded for margin expansion, not for accelerating internal careers. A promotion permanently raises fixed cost, resets salary anchors, and creates expectation of future progression. Software scales capacity without increasing long-term payroll commitments. In the old model, promotions were a control mechanism. When complexity increased, leadership widened the management pyramid. That additional bandwidth justified higher compensation bands. In the current model, the design objective is compression. Reduce coordination layers, narrow decision rights, standardize reporting. Replace discretionary judgment with instrumented metrics wherever possible. A promotion adds structural weight. Process automation removes it. This shifts the relevant budget layer. Promotions sit inside operating expense for years. Technology contracts can be adjusted, capitalized, renegotiated, or replaced. The cost bearer moves away from the compensation pool and into vendor spend. That reallocation explains why enterprise technology budgets remain active while title velocity stalls. Promotions are leverage events. When you are promoted, your compensation floor rises. Your external market price resets. Your internal bargaining power increases because exit becomes credible. Slower promotions reduce the rate at which employee leverage compounds. There is a predictable second-order effect. When promotions slow, internal mobility slows. When mobility slows, employees absorb broader scope laterally without formal recognition. Additional responsibility appears as development opportunity. The organization captures incremental managerial bandwidth at minimal incremental cost. If you earn between $100,000 and $150,000 annually, this dynamic directly affects you. Your workload can expand while your formal level remains unchanged. The firm extracts more scope per role because the marginal cost of adding scope has declined. Decisions are standardized. Reporting is automated. Tasks become measurable and transferable. Many professionals interpret slower promotions as temporary caution. Caution implies reversal when conditions improve. But buying capacity without increasing headcount is not cyclical sentiment. It is structural operating design. You can observe this in evolving promotion criteria. Tenure carries less weight. Quantified impact carries more. Impact now means outcomes that are instrumented, attributable, and auditable inside existing dashboards. Work that produces clean metrics advances more easily than work that depends on narrative explanation. Instrumented work wins. Contextual, relational, and mentoring work receives praise, but often stalls because it cannot be defended easily in cost reviews. The beneficiaries are clear. The firm benefits through lower fixed cost and tighter spans of control. Senior leadership benefits because revenue can rise without adding layers. Shareholders benefit from improved operating leverage and controlled wage drift. The cost is concentrated among mid-level professionals. The predictable managerial step becomes uncertain. Competition for fewer roles intensifies. The opportunity cost of waiting increases each year. Progression slows. This system reverses only under pressure. Sustained revenue growth combined with hiring difficulty can force expansion of layers. More importantly, coordination failure can force recalibration. When service quality drops, when delivery timelines slip repeatedly, when customer churn rises despite stable headcount, compression reveals its limits. There is another, slower destabilizer. When promotions stall for extended periods, mentorship bandwidth collapses. Fewer people are apprenticed into higher-order judgment. Organizations accumulate judgment debt. People execute processes without understanding why those processes exist. Exception handling becomes brittle. If that brittleness manifests as compliance misses, platform instability, client loss, or strategic missteps, firms reintroduce promotion velocity to rebuild leadership capacity. Until that pressure appears, assume the ladder remains narrow. If your primary value is coordination across teams, you are exposed. Standard operating procedures and centralized tooling are designed to absorb that function. If your advancement depends on discretionary advocacy rather than measurable outcomes, you are exposed. Budget discussions prioritize metrics over narratives. A manager can like you and still lose the argument where headcount is priced. If your expertise is highly company-specific, you are exposed. When promotion slows, external mobility becomes the reset mechanism. Company-specific skill increases switching cost, which reduces bargaining power and makes waiting feel safer than moving. Working longer hours does not solve this. The system is engineered to capture discretionary effort without formal releveling. The reward for absorbing extra scope is usually more scope, not a higher band. The strategic move is to position yourself where discretion cannot be removed and failure carries visible cost. Revenue retention, risk ownership, complex integrations, high-stakes client delivery, platform reliability, regulatory accountability. In these zones, judgment remains scarce and substitution risk is lower. Simultaneously, construct an external price signal. Periodically test the market, track compensation bands, document outcomes in portable form. Build proof artifacts that travel, shipped programs, prevented losses, retained accounts, stabilized systems. When exit is credible, internal gatekeeping weakens. Treat promotions as scarce capital rather than scheduled milestones. Force decision points by taking scope that clearly exceeds your current level, then asking for the re-leveling that makes the scope sustainable. Or secure external offers that reset your market valuation. Promotions are slowing because organizations discovered a cheaper method to purchase capacity. If you wait for the previous ladder dynamics to return automatically, you will donate time. If you understand the shift, you can move toward roles where leverage persists and where the organization cannot quietly replace your contribution with process discipline.